Hello everybody. In this video we'll try to understand some more interesting things about Shatabhisha Nakshatra. See, the first pada or the first quarter of this particular nakshatra ranges from 6 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius to 10 degrees of Aquarius, and it falls in Sagittarius Navamsha and is ruled by Jupiter. So whenever a planet is placed in Shatabhisha Nakshatra first pada, that particular planet will go to in the Sagittarius sign in the Navamsha Chakra. It goes to the Sagittarius sign in the Navamsha Chakra. So if your planet is placed in Shatabhisha Nakshatra first pada in your Rashi chart, that planet will definitely go to the Sagittarius sign only in the Navamsha Chakra. So here Shatabhisha is a Rahu Nakshatra. It is in the area of Saturn because Aquarius is the area of Saturn. And then now Jupiter energies are combined. See, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, these planets are actually, they play a very vital role in, they're the most important planets, right? Compared to any other. Of course, sun plays a major role, moon plays, everything, even Mercury, everything. But see, Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu, right? These are all the very important planets, we say, right? So here the conjunction is a kind of is a life-changing planets, we say. So this particular combination is Shatabhisha first pada. This relates to the happy-go-lucky, optimistic and philanthropic side of this particular nakshatra. So Shatabhisha nakshatra first pada, the people are a kind of happy-go-lucky type. They are optimistic as well. And it's very nice to see people are not bothering about so many things, and this pada has a tendency to get carried away, and so it is important for those under the influence of this particular pada to choose the right thing to carry it away with. So they just go along, they just go with the flow, and they just don't care about, and don't care as not a kind of don't care attitude, that kind of intensity I'm not telling here. It's something like just go with the flow, just go in a lighter way. There's a kind of negligence is shown here, right? Negligence in the sense they're not giving much importance to some of the things. So if they carried away with some of the, if they are not, if they are ignoring, then just imagine, see, just keeping yourself in the circle always and hiding the things, not letting the things out, just maintaining some secrecy. If that is your choice of life and just you are going with the flow, then then that kind of attitude may not create much impact on others and also on your life, right? So that Shatabhisha first pada is something like it's something like okay, it's going on kind of. So they are the kind who will go about something like they're just happy-go-lucky type kind of people. So, and if you see the second pada of this particular nakshatra ranging from 20 degrees of Aquarius to 13 degree 20 minutes of Aquarius, this particular pada, it relates to Capricorn sign in the Navamsha Chakra. Here too much of Saturnian energy is coming into the picture. So whenever a planet is present in your Shatabhisha Nakshatra second pada, that planet will go to the Aquarius sign in your Navamsha Chakra. So more Saturnian energy, so more practicality, more organizational aspect, right? So that is the Shatabhisha second pada. So they are more practical and organizational, and this is the pada which relates to all material activities under the domain of Shatabhisha, if you observe. Because when you are into practicality, more practicality, then you are too much connected with this materialism also, right? Material activities. Because in order to believe God, or in order to believe other things other than practical things, you need some kind of imagination, you need some kind of spiritual thinking and all the stuff. It's a kind of material activities related pada. So one has to watch out for excessive ambition in relation to the planets positioned in this particular pada. So it makes ambitious. Generally when people are practical, they actually be related to with this ambitious things as well. So they have to check it. If the planet placed in Shatabhisha Nakshatra second pada, then you need to check that planet. Is it making you too much ambitious? When you're too much ambitious, you're too much stressed also, right? You may think, what happens if I have great ambitions in my life? If you have great ambitions, then yes, you're too much stressed. You would be allocating most of your time to your ambitions, and what about your family and your surroundings and all that stuff? So you need to check what is there on the in that particular Shatabhisha second pada, right? So if it is making you too much ambitious, then you have to check how much time you're spending with your loved ones, and they are with you, right? They're with you, they believe, they love you. Then look at them. If you're too much ambitious, if you're too much into your work, if you're too much into your own things, right? Just observe. And the third pada of this particular nakshatra, it ranges from 13 degree 20 minutes of Aquarius to 16 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius. So previously, Shatabhisha second pada, I was telling, you're too much ambitious, then check for check the family and your loved ones also, I was telling, right? So you may think, okay, but I'm ambitious, but I'm also taking care of my loved ones, and I'm also thinking about my loved ones. You may have that kind of notion, but just observe. Are you really, how much time you're spending with your family members? Shatabhisha second pada I'm talking about. If some malefic planet is placed, or some too much of ambition giving planet is placed, I want to tell you, note down, what are you doing from morning 6 to whatever, when the moment you wake up and till the time you sleep, what are you doing? How much time you are allocating to your ambitions? How much time you are allocating to your family? How much time you are allocating to your loved ones? And what are you doing basically, right? Just thinking about your loved ones is not spending time with them, right? And now the third pada of this particular nakshatra, I'm saying it ranges from 13 degree 20 minutes of Aquarius to 16 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius. And it falls in Aquarius Navamsha. It's again ruled by Saturn. So whenever a planet is placed in Shatabhisha Nakshatra third pada, that planet will go to the sign of Aquarius in the Navamsha Chakra. So this particular pada relates to the visionary. It is related to futuristic and philosophical side of this particular nakshatra. And you just see the kind of vision they have, the kind of futuristic and philosophical side they have, is is really, it's worth to note this particular uh, point here. So they're futuristic in the sense how they think about future. They have a vision, something like after 10 years this is what going to happen. So let's make a plan now itself, right? So let us say after 30 years, maybe uh, after 30 years I should have one house, so let me plan now, let me plant some seeds for that, right? So after some so and so years, my kids should be here and should be placed well here. So this kind of futuristic attitude, this kind of visionary, this kind of uh, you know futuristic thinking they have. And what happens if some negative planet, some malefic planet is placed here, right? Then if some malefic planet is placed in Shatabhisha third pada, it is seen that the people would become rebellious. They're too eccentric, they're very rebellious, they become very, very rebellious in nature. And planets placed in this pada often do well on the material plane, as this is a Vargottama position, as you know, because in the Rashi Chakra it is in Shatabhisha 3, that means it is an Aquarius sign, and even in the Navamsha Chakra it is going to Aquarius. So generally speaking, planets placed in this particular pada, they do very well, and of course, but it is on the material plane, because when you talk about Shatabhisha Nakshatra, it's a Rahu Nakshatra basically, so you generally talk about this kind of uh, right, the material plane things, as well as it is a Rahu Nakshatra. It's, of course, it's the final Rahu Nakshatra. And if you observe the fourth pada of this particular nakshatra, ranging from 16 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius to 20 degrees of Aquarius, it falls in Pisces Navamsha. So whenever a planet is placed in Shatabhisha Nakshatra fourth pada, that particular planet will go to a Pisces sign in the Navamsha Chakra. And of course, it is ruled by Jupiter. So this particular pada, Shatabhisha Nakshatra fourth pada, this pada relates to the expansive, hallucinatory and illusory side of this particular nakshatra. So Shatabhisha 4 people generally they live in a kind of illusions. Generally astrologers say Shatabhisha 4 is because it's connecting the final sign Pisces. The Pisces is in the Navamsha I'm telling. So it's the final sign. Pisces is the natural 12th house, natural 12th sign, right? So this particular sign is connected with this dreaming, illusions, hallucinations and all. The heavy watery sign Pisces, how much imagination, how much illusions it is creating in the native's mind is to be checked based on the planet placed here. But when some favorable things happen, it can give some kind of great powers of healing and compassion, because that's the sign of Pisces, right? It's very much connected with healing and compassion also. But when it is acting in the negative side, when it is afflicted or some malefic planet is placed, it can make the person too ambiguous, so much of confusion, because the kind of confusion, the kind of illusions they have is something like it's different, right? So Shatabhisha fourth is the pada where you need to check the planet, because if a kind of malefic energy is associated with Shatabhisha 4, then the kind of illusions the person have could be, it's completely you cannot even imagine the kind of illusions they have. The kind of It's something like they see so many illusions. They see the humans running before even in an empty land, kind of. So the planet placed in Shatabhisha 4. In Ayurveda also, if some person is uh, coming to the Ayurvedic doctor with some kind of illusionary problems, the Ayurvedic doctor in ancient times, they used to check if there is some planet in Shatabhisha 4th pada, right? So planets placed in this pada often make the native lose themselves in one form of intoxication or other also, because they are in some other world, kind of. They're they're in illusions. They are in kind of some other world, some other, as a kind of hallucination. So it's good for activities of imagination, like filmmaking. If, let us say, if the if because of other planetary positions, if the native has become a kind of writer or some kind of filmmaker, just imagine he could see the whole story before him running. Such kind of uh, right, such kind of imagination, such kind of illusion the person can have, right? So how beautiful if this particular Shatabisha 4 people have some very good mercury somewhere, or very good poetic skills somewhere in the horoscope somewhere, or very good Purva Falguni Nakshatra, or some kind of Venusian energy, or some kind of Sagittarius and also the Leo energy, because Leo is very much connected with this fine arts. Then let us say if the person has so much of Leo energy, then just imagine the person would be very creative, right? And you can see the creation before him running. Completely, the person would be living in a different world. But if he has some filmmaking skills also, because of more uh, mercurial energies, or right, it is really interesting. Shatabhisha 4th pada, right? So I always see, you know out of interest, I see if somebody is having some 2 3 planets in Shatabhisha 4, it's what are the other positions that he has any Puro Falguni energy more, or the more Leo energy, or more Sagittarius. The fiery energy is required for fine arts, generally people say, right? Especially the Purva Ashadha also. You see so many Puro Falguni and Purva Ashadha celebrities, right? And even Swati energy, it is all. Swati, the Rahu Nakshatra, is also very. I see so many people, so many people with lot of talent, lot of acting talent and all, with this Swati Nakshatra energy as well. So that is about Shatabhisha energy. So the first pada is something like it's a lighter, very lighter, happy-go-lucky type. So there is no problem to others and themselves. They just keep their secrets. They just enjoy their life. Very normal, carried away kind of energy. But the second one is something like they have to check for excessive ambition, if they have any excessive ambition, because too much of practicality is awakened here because of more Saturnian energy. And whereas in the Shatabhisha third pada, it's something like visionary, futuristic. That's a Generally Shatabhisha 3 is a good pada, right? Because I don't want to see much and then pass some negative comments on Shatabhisha 3. The only thing is they have to check if they are very much rebellious, right? Because it is becoming more Saturn, the Saturn duty, the Aquarius. Saturn is a kind of when it is in too much of energy, that it would be rebellious, right? Because it's a Vargotama and it is a Rahu Nakshatra. That's why I am telling you have to check. Shatabhisha 3 is a good pada, but you have to check if the person has that Shatabhisha 3 is connected with some rebellious planet, because it is rebellious. That's the only thing. If the rebelliousness is very much huge in amounts, then just imagine the person will become. Uh, it's it's difficult, right, for him also to control, and also the loved ones, the people surrounding him would be suffering because of that. So that's the only disadvantage of Shatabhisha 3. But in all the Shatabhisha padas, I see Shatabhisha 3 is a good one. Shatabhisha 1 is a kind of, it's Shatabhisha 1 is good for this kind of normal family life, normal going, coming and going, and this kind of. So in that way, if you observe, Shatabhisha 1 is also good. And then Shatabhisha 2, as we said, that too much of practicality is not so comfortable. And Shatabhisha 3, I am seeing it's a good one because of Vargotama, but more Saturnian energy is giving more rebelliousness. That is, Shatabhisha 4 is, they have to check, the planet that is placed, because how much illusion it would create, how much hallucination it would create, right? Because it is a Rahu Nakshatra and the behavior is something like it's out of the box behavior. Uh, it's a Rahu is a kind of anything which is not known as a kind of Rahu only, right? The behavior is somebody is, let us say, it's walking for 10 steps and suddenly laughing, right? Some kind of uh, hallucination is associated with Shatabhisha 4. I'm sure on that. So they have to check what kind of planet is placed. If a lighter planet like Mercury is placed, then you need to check what kind of sarcasm they have. It's interesting actually, because it's the final Rahu Pada, right? So the Rahu energy is something like out of the box energy, and how it is being manifested in the horoscope is this final nakshatras, the final this one, that is Sagittarius to Pisces. This area is all peaks kind of energies, the final energies, right? Final energies of all nakshatras, final energies of all signs. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. We'll try to meet in the next video.